Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some firewood to split. I got a buddy that needs a little bit for his wood stove. He ran out, and so we've got some good ash that was dead standing when it was cut, and so we're going to split a little bit. I thought I'd do a kind of a second or a follow-up video to that first splitting axe video. So out here I've got a number of options. We've got our X27 Fiskars. We've got that Husqvarna. I believe this is the S2800 they call it. This is their splitting axe. They make one that looks like this as a general purpose axe, but this is the splitter with the profile. We have my Axe-I splitting maul, 6-pounder. This is a 5-pound Council Tools head. And then we've got an Arvika 5-star, which is also a 5-pound head, I believe. So we're just gonna do a little splitting. We're gonna talk a little bit about these and what I personally like and don't like about them, and hopefully that helps you if you're looking at buying a tool, and we'll get started. So I'm going to move the camera here. All right, we're going to start with the Fiskars X27. This is not my favorite splitting tool. Personally, the handle is too thick. I don't like both the profile this way and the profile this way. And you can't do anything to change it because it's a composite handle. The head and the length, this is their full size, so this is a 3-footer. It's great for splitting on the ground. You get a little extra reach out of it. But I just don't find this half to be very comfortable. It's got a heck of a wedge on it, which is great for popping the wood open. They do perform. I'm not saying they don't split wood. I just don't find this axe to be my favorite. They do make short work of good straight grain stuff though. We're splitting kind of small. My buddy's got just a little inside wood stove. Nothing major. This ash is a pretty nice split anyway. Doesn't take a ton of effort. The long handle makes the golf swing split pretty effective. And it does make short work of the wood. I find that if I use this axe for any length of time compared to my other ones, I feel it a lot more the next day in the hands. I don't like to pick stuff up, so I tend to just split right on the ground. I like to put as little effort into splitting as I can. I occasionally use a chopping block, but most often I split right on the ground. So that's the Fiskars X27. It's not a bad tool. I just think there's better options. The Husqvarna, I believe again, this is a 2.8 kilogram head, and I believe they sell this as the S2800. It's got a big wedge in the profile, so it's really good, gets the wood open quickly. A little wider bit, a little bit of curvature. And this one you can file if you need to sharpen it or fix damage on the edge. Shorter handle though, I believe this is just 28 inches. And so you got to be careful when you're using it, especially on the ground. Because if you come through swing and miss, this axe is going to come right into your leg. So When you use this tool, you really got to drop a little bit at the knees. Just sink down a little bit. This axe, I think, opens the wood up better than the Fiskars does. And the handle size, I think, is just a little bit more wieldy. It doesn't do as good. You got to bend over more to do the golf swing, but it'll do it. All in all, between the two, I have the short-handled Fiskars as well, and this performs better than the short-handled Fiskars. Remember, if you drop a little bit, you carry a little bit more power in, and then if you miss, that axe is going to go into the ground and not into your leg. Longer handles are better for working on the ground. The nice thing about both of these tools, the Husqvarna or the Fiskars option, is you can just leave them outside. You don't have a nice wood handle, an expensive head that you bought and hafted, or you paid somebody to haft, and if you leave it out and it gets destroyed, rusted, the wood goes to shit, you don't have to worry about that on these. These you can stay outside and it's no problem. So those are our composite tools. Next, we'll split with the Arvika. The Arvika is a really nice tool. It's really a felling axe. It's got a really narrow profile. It will split, and it'll split straight grain stuff decently, but it is sticky. So if we come across the center of this, it's going to be more prone to sticking, which we didn't have in the other tools. But in nice straight grain stuff, it does a pretty good job. This handle is just as it arrived from Sweden. I did not find it necessary to thin this one at all. This one power's nice on a chopping block. It's a little shorter haft, but you got to pick every piece of wood up, and that just adds to the overall effort, and why I traditionally don't hand split much on a chopping block, because I want to handle the wood as little as possible. But this Arvika is a really nice quality tool. I think last time I looked, they're a little expensive. I imported this one 2 years ago and got a better price on it. But I think they're like $250 or something on Amazon. So they're not a cheap axe, but it is a very quality tool that with a little bit of care will last your lifetime. So this one, I've got 22.5 is the bevel on this, and it is a convex grind. So that's the Arvika. In the same category as the Arvika is this Council Tools axe. Now, Council Tool makes really nice stuff. They make a really nice product. But this, again, does not have a splitting profile. This is really a heavy felling axe. If you wanted to make it a splitter, you'd have to take a lot of this off, get the thickness in it, and then regrind it. But it will split. This is one of my halves. This is an early half that I made. It's thin in this direction, but it's got thickness in the cross section. So it's strong, but it has flexibility. And so it does a nice job of absorbing impact. And it's as thin as it is because it's a hickory handle, and so it'll take it. This is much the same as the Arvika. It'll split straight grain stuff, really nice. Part of that is it's a 5-pound tool, so it has the weight. A good splitting axe needs to be heavy to get good results. Over. But regardless of what you split with, the most important thing is gotta be sharp. Got to be sharp. This one has got more use on than the Arvika. A little ding here, missed, hit a rock, because I'm not very good at the flick. But this is another one that's at 22.5. So we've got our crack running this way. Let's start this one from scratch. Again, this is ash. Pretty easy splitting stuff if it's not full of knots. Really straight grain. Good stuff. Now that was a spot where something with a 30-degree bevel would not have stuck. And we got a knot there, so we'll fight it the whole way with this axe. So, yep, there's that knot right there. So this tool is good if the wood is clean and it's straight grained, not stringy. This axe does a really nice job. And it's really comfortable to use, which is the big key. That's our Council tool. Now, the tool I grab the most in the wood yard these days is this axe I maul. So this is a 6-pound Collins, and this is the original handle it came with. This has been ground to a 30-degree bevel, but that's got a real thick wedge that comes on very early. This thing does not stick. If you get it buried in stringy wood, it walks right out. It's just a pleasure to split with. I don't have any other heavy axes at the minute. I've sold or given those away. And so this is the one that comes out the most when I handle it. So this same piece that we were struggling with that axe, this thing will bust through knots like nobody's business. It is not a 36-inch half. It might be 34. So it's okay on the ground and on a chopping block. And this thing has a nice handle. It flicks pretty good, which I like. Easier than the Fiskars for sure to flick with. Got another knot there. And this thing will break most reasonably sized knots. It won't break monsters. Look at that. That's a pretty big one there. I don't know if we'll get through it again. We'll try. Oh yeah. We got through it. Nice. So, currently, this is the axe that gets the most use here in the wood yard when I'm hand splitting. I do have a hydraulic splitter that I do my production splitting with, but this little bit of wood, with how cold it is, just didn't seem to make a lot of sense to deal with getting the oil warmed up and getting that splitter going. This piece will be gnarly. I've got a double heart here and another one happening over here. I'm guessing this is a pretty knotty piece. So this will be a good test of this 6-pound maul. So we're gonna try it across the center and see what it does. Oh, we got it. I didn't think that was gonna go. That thick wedge and the sharp edge really helps to make this an efficient tool on nasty wood. In the event that you couldn't get through the middle, I would peel off the sides. Which will weaken the piece and then give you an opportunity to split it across the middle again. Again, we're splitting small for a inside wood stove. This stuff burns quick, but it's not a boiler. It's just a convenience, ambiance stove for my buddy. And you can buy them all for all kind of money. I had in my previous video, we had a customer who had a couple of Grand Fours Brook mauls, and they don't perform any better than this. And I bought this maul in a lot of axes from a guy locally on Marketplace, and I paid $30 for this maul. 30 bucks for the maul. And I got, I don't know, I cleaned the handle up. Cleaned up the handle, sharpened the head. I got an hour worth of effort into it. And that's it. And this thing performs every bit as good as that $300 Grand Fours. Ooh, we went right through that. So you don't have to spend a ton of money. This axe was done on a grinder. So it's got, oh no, I lied. This is a flat grinder. So you can sit at a bench and a vise with some files, and you can make this happen on a standard maul. And you can buy one, get a wood handle one from the hardware store, and then you can profile this to what's comfortable in your hand, put a grind on this. I like about 30 degree on the bevel, 15 aside. I think that works the best. Let me know in the comments what you like to split with. Do you like to repurpose cheap used tools and run with them? Or do you like to buy the expensive imported stuff, and why? That'll end this video for the time being. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.